My good friends who turned out here today. I'm joined here today by my beautiful family, some of my closest friends in politics, and some of my dearest colleagues. I want to particularly acknowledge Rosemary Harrison, whose mum and dad, Graham and Jean, were my campaign managers for all three of my campaigns for councillor right here in Ward 36, Durban North. It's great to see friends who've been with me from the beginning of my career and others who have joined me along the way. I want to also pay tribute to my two excellent campaign managers, Ashil Sarupan and Dee McPherson. Their political skills have carried us to victory on a number of occasions, and I'm very grateful to the work that you guys have put in, as well as my amazing campaign team. I also want to thank you for being here this morning, my amazing office staff, my team that have been with me on the road. We've travelled together to every corner of the country. We've had laughs, we've had tears, but most of all, we've had a great time. And that's what I'm so grateful for. A few weeks ago, I climbed up the steps to the Union buildings for probably the umpteenth time since the Democratic Alliance entered national government 19 months ago. But instead of rushing straight to the next meeting, I felt a sudden urge to stop at the top. And I turned around and looked out over the green lawns and the beautiful skyline of Pretoria. And for a long moment, I just stood there, thinking about the enormous meaning behind the seemingly small activity of walking up the steps. But not long ago, it was unthinkable that the leader of the Democratic Alliance would ever walk up the steps to the Union buildings. For 30 years under democracy, and for many decades before that, the DA and its predecessors fought with everything that they had to one day carry our vision of building an open opportunity society for all into national government. Now the DA strove for this goal because it was only through gaining access to the levers of power that we could ever hope to build a fair, more prosperous and more successful country. But to get there would require a leader who would do the hard work of converting the DA from a party of mere opposition into a governing force strong enough to now bend the arc of history away from a South Africa marked by joblessness, decline, and despair, and into a new direction towards economic growth, rising prosperity, and renewed hope in the future. Very few people, including I might add some people in this room, believe we would ever get there. Far too many people were comfortable with the DA being in a perpetual opposition, smirking, pointing fingers, while South Africa was on the decline. And yet, once we got the DA back on track following my election as federal leader in 2019, we set out to achieve exactly this in the 2024 general election. To enter national government for the first time in our party's history. In April 2023, following my re-election as federal leader of the Democratic Alliance, with a decisive mandate of 83%, the largest winning margin of any leader in the history of the party.
Exactly.
I announced that the DA was ready to now take the moonshot. That we were going to shed our image as a party that only shouted at other people from the sidelines and instead mature into a party that gets stuck in to fix this country that we all love so much. In an address that reshaped the DA's approach to coalition government, that would then go on to reshape South Africa a little over a year later, I announced that my party would move towards a more collaborative form of politics. A sort of politics that sought to unite those who want to build up the country while isolating those who want to break it. At the time, I also warned that if the DA was unable to mature and rise to the demands of a coalition country, it would be responsible for selling South Africa out to the populist doomsday coalition. A little over a year later, on the 3rd of July 2024, the DA achieved our moonshot. After the ANC lost its majority for the first time since 1994, and after the emergence of Jacob Zuma's MK party made our mission even more urgent, the DA successfully negotiated the formation of the Government of National Unity with President Cyril Ramaphosa. And I'm very proud that the President and I were able to work collaboratively to put this government together. DA members were sworn in as ministers, deputy ministers, deputy speaker, chairpersons and portfolio committee chairs in the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces, as well as MCs and deputy speaker in KwaZulu-Natal, in addition to retaining outright control of the Western Cape. This outcome, which included the Democratic Alliance's ascension to national power, constitutes the single greatest achievement in the history of our party.
Yes.
Against all the odds, a party that's once languished at 1.7% of the national vote, I'm glad Bill Lambert's here because he will remember those days. That was a party that was then subsequently seen as a desolate shack, it was described in the political landscape. And then subsequently seen as little more than a regional party. And then a party regarded as too arrogant and oppositional to play any national role. Now carried the hopes and the dreams of our 3.5 million voters into national government for the first time ever. That we were able to get back to growth after the previous leader walked off the job. That we had the strategic foresight to reposition the party in anticipation of the coalition era. That we were able to negotiate our way into becoming a leading partner in South Africa's first ever democratically elected national multi-party government. And that we have since leveraged our influence in government to set South Africa determinedly on a fundamentally better path. This is an achievement that will go down in history.
Correct.
In the long story of the DA and its predecessors, dating back to at least 1959, there is only one leadership era that will ever be remembered for marshalling our party across the Rubicon and international government. Only one, and it is this one. A little over a year and a half later, the people of South Africa are beginning to experience the full impact of this breakthrough.
Correct.
The GNU has more than doubled economic growth in its first calendar year in office. The DA made a major contribution to this through our victory against the proposed VAT increase last year, in favour of deeper and faster economic reform. South Africa recently got its first credit upgrade in 20 years, and we have finally been removed from the Financial Action Task Force's grey list. Growth projections are improving across the board, and unemployment has started to tick down. Now, of course, we have much more to do, but there is no doubt that South Africa's economy is now on the up, after more than a decade of rapid decline. I'm also particularly proud of how the DA is increasingly seen as a political home for all the people of South Africa. At the start of my leadership, many commentators underestimated my commitment to ensuring that the party broadens its appeal beyond its traditional base. But the moonshot that catapulted the DA into the GNU was predicated on my commitment to reshape this party into one that transcends the boundaries of race, ethnicity, and class to serve the people of our beautiful country. And when I say serve the people, I say serve all the people. I believe the key reason why the DA is now polling at historically high levels and winning by-election in areas where it traditionally struggled and winning by-elections across the country, as last night's victories in the Western Cape, where we took 2 wards off the ANC, showed us. And I believe this is because the party's work in the GNU has proven that we care for all South Africans, no matter their background or their circumstances. Whether it's empowering emerging farmers and fishers, issuing smart ideas to people in villages and rural areas, or delivering better education in township schools, no one can now deny that the DA is delivering for all. I also feel it's important to remind my fellow Democrats that the progress we have experienced in 2019 did not happen automatically or by osmosis. Although the decisions like the formation of the Moonshot Pact and entering the GNU were proven correct, we must not gloss over the fact that some people opposed these bold moves at the time that I pushed them. I say this as a reminder to all of us that the threat of the populist doomsday coalition has not disappeared. The prospect of them ultimately entering government has not disappeared. Just look what happened in this province in December last year, when the MK party came in a single vote of toppling the government of provincial unity. In the wake of losing that motion of no confidence that they had instituted against the GPU, they resorted to violence. They inflicted destruction in the chamber of the legislature, including in assaulting the speaker. Make no mistake about it. The scenes that we saw on that day is what awaits all of South Africa if we ever allow the MK-EFF doomsday coalition into power. As the DA, but also other GNU partners, hold internal elections over the coming months, it's paramount that we all continue to put South Africa ahead of factional and personal agendas. It would be a tragedy too great to contemplate for internal party maneuvering to plunge the GNU and our country into chaos. We have come too far, and we still have too far to go to allow anyone to derail the progress that we are making. My fellow South Africans and my friends, when I stood at the top of those steps at the Union buildings a few weeks ago, I was reminded of another set of steps that I ascended for the first time 27 years ago. And they were the steps to the Durban City Council, where I was elected as the youngest ever councillor in 1999. If someone had told that bright-eyed and bushy-tailed young man that he would, just over 2 decades later, be the person to lead the DA international government, he probably wouldn't have believed you. And as I stood there looking out over South Africa's capital city, I realized it's mission accomplished for me. I have delivered on everything that I promised my party when I was first elected as federal leader back in 2019. I proudly picked up this party's banner when its internal polling was down to just 16%, and after the media declared the death of the DA. Built on a simple message that I believe that there was nothing wrong with the DA that couldn't be fixed by everything that is right with the DA. I worked hard with others who love our party to not only resurrect the party's fortunes, but we've also carried it to new heights. Previous chapters of our party's history were marked by the party becoming the official opposition and entering provincial governments in the Western Cape. My term will be remembered for leading the DA into national government and putting South Africa on a new path to prosperity. The DA that I inherited was reading its own obituary in a country that was in rapid decline. The DA I leave behind co-governs a country that is firmly on the up. It's now up to the next generation of leadership to ensure that the VA continues to do so with ever-growing confidence for many, many more years to come, so that we can deliver to the country of our dreams and deliver this country to all of our children. I love my party and I love my country, and I will continue to work every day to ensure the success of both. Thank you very much.